Okay. All right. So we're going to jump right in. And I want to start today. I want to go to Becky first. We lost somebody and now they're back. So I want to go to Becky first. Becky let me know before we started that she wants me to do a dream interpretation, which is awesome. I love dreams. They're my favorite. The dead speak very much like dreams. I think one of the reasons why I'm pretty good at being able to communicate with the dead is because I started having extreme dreams from a young child that I had to learn to translate. And it's all the same kind of symbolic language. So you might see me getting up and down, opening the window and closing the window because my next door neighbors are getting their roof done and they literally just had the jackhammer out there for a second, but it gets really hot in this office. So bear with me for a second now as I open this window again. Okay, if that jackhammer starts going again, I'll have to jump up and close it again. But all right, so Becky, been waiting for a week. Tell me this dream.
Yep. Okay, so it felt so real. It was my brother was in the garage. He used to smoke and he would go in the garage and just hang out in the garage. So he was in the garage and his one friend I really didn't like because we were trying to get him clean. For the longest time, I will admit it. I even told the friend not to come by because he triggers my emotions. He
In
was in the
real life.
dream, and this girl that no, this is just my dream. Like it was my brother, his friend, and this girl that my brother was apparently dating in my dream that
Okay,
I
so
don't like.
hold on a
So I
second.
don't
Hold
like
on a
these
second.
two people.
Okay, so hold on a second. You're
Yep.
mixing real life details with dream details, and I got to make sure I got this correct. So
Yep.
you went back and you started telling me about your brother used to do this stuff in the garage, but you're talking about used to in real life, not in your dream, right?
Yep.
Okay, so
So I'm just saying it felt like real life because he used to go into the garage all the time. So it was in my dream, it was him. I can't even remember who the girl was. It wasn't focusing. It was just, I knew I didn't like her. I don't, and then his one friend. And in the dream, his friend and this girl brought me flowers. And the friend said, I'm sorry that Billy almost died. I blame myself. And the one friend, then the other girl that he was dating said, I'm so sorry for causing all of this commotion in your life. And I told Billy in my dream, tell them to leave. I don't want them here. And Billy was like, Becky, life is too short. You need to forgive and forget. Brennan thinks that, oh, shoot, I shouldn't have said his name. But anyways, for instance, he said that he feels like I blame him for his death and I need to let go. And I need to let go of all of this and be happy. Life is too short. And that's when Billy in my dream told me, life is too short. I am happy. Chad, my husband, loves me. He's so proud of me going back to school and he just wants to be happy. And he is happy. He's finally happy now. But he's saying that I need to learn how to forgive and let go.
yeah. Okay, so your dream is really easy, honey. I knew a little bit from you. You tried to explain some of this in your email message, I guess, but
Yep.
just like you were doing now, you were telling real life details with dream details, and I'm like, what the heck is she talking about? I got you. So I think I get the gist of what your dream is saying. The thing is that our dreams are literal interpretations of how we feel about our physical reality. Before we started recording, you were telling me that there was a girl that was in your brother's friend group before he passed that caused a whole bunch of turmoil in the friend group and caused separations, right?
Yep.
Now, you got to understand that your feelings about that girl and her activities in this friend group are hurting you. It has nothing to do with that girl. It's your feelings about that girl that are hurting you and causing you to feel the stress and anxiety and causing it to be harder for you to heal around your brother's death. What your brother is telling you in the dream is that life is too short to feel upset with them, because what did he let you know? That those girls are blaming themselves, that they have guilt around this that they don't know how to deal with. You think they're going to come out and tell everybody, oh, yeah, it's my fault he's dead? Probably not. Those are feelings they're going to lock away. I think what your brother is saying to you is that you don't know what other people are thinking and feeling. Do you know what I mean? And all you
Yep.
can focus on is what you are thinking and feeling. And if you can offer forgiveness, and there's the spirit emphasis when I say that. Jackhammer, told you. Hold on. What a timing, too. Okay, so if you can forgive them and release whatever that drama was that added to the stress that eventually took your brother's life, and just know that, and something you said in that dream is really important too. The dead often say this kind of stuff to people in dreams, and it freaks them out. They don't know what it means. Because they said almost killed him, but he did pass, right? He did
That's
pass.
yeah.
That he almost passed. See, the reason why he's saying that they almost killed me, but it didn't, is because he's still alive. He's just invisible to your physical eyes. He's not dead. They didn't kill him. He's just invisible. So what he's telling you in the dream is that the drama that took place in that situation, the way that you were feeling about those girls is preventing you from healing. And it's causing you stress and anxiety. And so long that stress, anxiety, and pain is there, it's harder for you to connect with your brother and to connect with those other people involved, because you have to go through that filter of pain that you have for those people. So if you heal how you feel about those girls, you release it and you say, I don't know why they did the things that they did, and I don't know how they feel about it inside. All I know is I can't change what happened. My brother is still with me in some shape or form, and I'm going to be grateful for that. And I'm just going to focus on forgiving them and releasing it. If you can do that, you watch how quickly that friend group comes back together and how that situation heals. What your brother's trying to say to you in that dream is that, because that tells me, that dream tells me that you have been thinking or feeling or hoping to reconnect with some of those people, and you don't know how to do it, right? Have you
Yep.
been thinking
Yep.
about that? That's why you're dreaming that. Because the way that you reconnect with those people is by forgiving the females that you see causing the disruption. What your brother's saying is you can only see a small portion of that. You don't know what the deeper levels are. And you having that grief around what they did, and the judgment maybe around what they did, is preventing you from healing and preventing that situation from healing so that you guys can come back together. But the answer to you guys healing that relationship, or those relationships that have fallen apart, is forgiveness. That's the
Okay.
answer. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
He's really proud of you, just so you know. He stands there like this and beats his chest and puts on the gorilla costume, which is when they emphasize extreme pride. Because he makes me feel like he's going back. So maybe when you were quite a bit younger, that you would not have thought twice about getting back at somebody, like revenge. You hurt me, I will freaking take you out. He's like, I'm so proud of you. You're staying back, you're growing, you're letting them take the fall for themselves. Do you know what I mean?
That's yeah. I used to always hold grudges. And it took well over a year of therapy to finally like just basically let it go, I guess you could say.
See,
Just
did you hear my live earlier today?
no, I saw that you were live and I was at work and I was like, I can't listen to it right now. And I was like, I wonder if I can put my AirPods in. And I was like, I
I'm going
can't.
to summarize a little piece of what I said because it applies here. Um, and that is that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. But sometimes you need the weapon that is formed against you to carry you to where you need to be. It is a gift. It is a gift if you can see it through that perspective of gratitude. What am I trying to say here? Hold on a sec. Your brother just cleared my mind completely, and he's got something bigger to say, but I feel like there's a couple other messages that have to be said first. You're not taking off right away, are you?
Nope.
Give it a second. Okay, he just said, stay right here. He's coming back to this because there's something about understanding that sometimes there will be weapons formed against you and there's nothing you can do to stop them. But all you can do is ride the wave of that weapon, if you will, and it will turn into a blessing that will prosper you. And something like that is going on in your life. But then I start immediately switching over here to Nikita, and I'm not sure why. So it's funny. She's laughing because she understands why. So hold that. We will come back to you in a minute. And
Okay.
jackhammering stopped. So I'm going to open the window again because I'm dying. I'm sorry we're playing hot potato here. Hold on a second. Do you hear that? I try. Okay, we're going to do the fan. If my hair goes all over the place, then forgive me. So you were just here a couple of weeks ago, but I know I read for your friend, not you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly who's on the other side around you, and I haven't asked you yet, but there is a lady there jumping up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Who do you want me to focus on, hun?
If he's not too busy, I would love to focus on my sweet papa, please.
Okay. Who's the lady that just has a sense of humor? Because she went, okay, fine, but you know I'm here too.
Either my grandma or my mother-in-law.
There you go, mother-in-law, because she showed me underneath of your papa.
Yeah.
Oh, I like his energy. He's very kind of sarcastically playful. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Both feet flat on the floor. I want you to close your eyes, and then I want you to take a deep breath. Picturing that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, and then blow it directly towards me, and give me a minute to focus. I love his energy. But he keeps trying to give me food. This is why I say sarcastic humor, because I'm fasting. I'm on the second day of my fast. He's like, want an apple? How about a granola bar? Here, how about this? He keeps like, as he's stepping forward, he's like trying to give me food. I'm like, dude, you can clearly see I'm fasting. He's like, I know. Like, it feels like that's his humor. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
He told me that he's come through before. I don't remember. I wish I could keep track of your loved ones, but because he skips through his passing very fast. When they do that, it's usually because they've come through before and they don't want to keep going over it. But I know it had something to do with breathing and strength, because he right away shows me that he's a lot stronger on that side and that he can breathe clear and easy, and that's all he wants you to remember. I keep seeing sand. Were you guys at the beach or something recently?
No.
Where you're going, because your papa just put on like old-fashioned shorts and socks up to his ankle or up to his knees, you know?
Well, if it's the papa I'm hoping to speak to, today we're starting he's just only been gone a few days. And so we have like viewing and funeral, and I was lucky enough to be with him when he passed. And so that's probably why if this is him, he's like, okay, come on, she was there. We don't need to do all of that.
Yeah. See,
but it is hot as balls.
Pardon?
I said it's very hot. So if he's with us, we're just sweating and drenched every time we've been together. And
okay, I understand. I thought he was already there for some time because I've read for you so many times, and he's going, come on, let's go through this really fast.
No,
let's go through this really fast.
This is a new one.
Okay, so then let's go back to this because it's very important. I go very fast if I think they've repeated it a number of times. You understand that all he felt was that last breath? I don't know. It's funny because you saw me grip my chest. I do know there was something about a chest pain, but I feel like that was much previously because all he showed me was the last breath, and I feel a bit of a stabbing pain in my side. Like, I don't know what that is in my side, but then I'm taking my last breath and I'm on the other side. But he showed me that grasping my chest a few minutes or an hour, something like that before the rest of it. And then he's on the other side.
He was unresponsive for a couple of days before he passed, and then the last few hours were pretty rough. And then he was finally out and out of
Right
pain
away,
and
he's
suffering.
showing me, he's standing up and showing me, like, that's my sign for when they got all their energy back. Have you ever seen one of those gas station, like, balloon people or whatever they are? They fly up like this when you fill them with air. That's how the dead show me when they get to that size. Like, ta-da! He feels so much better. He's also saying that he was not going to miss this. There's an event that's coming up, or a birthday or something that's coming up, and he
Well,
didn't.
the visitation. That's why I was like, if he's available, because I know he's busy with all the other people. But yeah, the visitation and everything starts in like an hour. So
Oh,
mhm.
here's the beautiful thing. Spirit can be at all places at all times. So he can be here with you and he can be there at the same time. He's bringing forward a bunch of people that he's showing me he's reconnecting with on the other side. There's a brother or somebody on the other side. I don't know if this is brother, best friend, but I saw the
Brother.
handshake and like the good to see you kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Slow this down. Is your grandmother still here, hun?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he just put the white blanket around the lady's shoulders and he's going to watch over her. Oh, boom. And then my kid goes, boom, which is spirit emphasis because he's up there. Your grandfather is very carefully watching over your grandma here in the physical world. And there's a feeling of pleasure to be able to do so. It's like, I wanted to be the one to watch over her. He did not like being in the position where he had to be the one that was doted on.
Yeah. It's very hard for him.
So interesting that you're an hour away from the service because I know this is conflicting for you guys, but the way that I feel the energy from your loved ones is they get so excited about this. They are on top of the world. They bring all their friends and family on the other side to come and witness their last party. They're all over there talking about who's wearing what. Somebody wore a monkey suit in this heat. That's what your grandfather just said. I can't believe they wore the monkey suit in this heat.
Oh yeah, somebody is.
My feet shorts.
Can I tell you something that when after he had passed, I told my husband, I said, I just have this image of him as his like younger self in like shorts and socks and a t-shirt, just running through a field of just like, look at me, like, look what I can do now.
So he
That
heard
was
you
how I
say
pictured
that
him.
because that's what he's showing me in my face. That's what I said, like, I see sand and he's showing me he's all decked out for the beach or something because he's wearing shorts and his socks are up to his knees.
Mm-hmm.
When you speak about them, they hear you. He was there when you heard or when you said that, so he made sure to make sure I saw it that way as well. Does your grandma have a bit of a mobility issue?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's talking about getting her a proper walker or a proper chair or something.
Yeah. She's got a really bad back that she can't stand up all the way. And so she's very hunched over and she just hates feeling old. So she hates walkers, canes, I'm not old. Grandma.
He said, don't you worry. Now that he's on the other side, he can convince her because spirit sounds like a thought that interrupts the rest of your thoughts when they're communicating with you. He's like, finally, I can boss her around. She won't even know it's me.
Yes.
He's going to have
I'm sure he's been looking forward to this.
He's going to have her convinced to get a walker. He's like, you mark my words. She'll be asking you for this walker. And when she does, I want you to say, thank you, Grandpa.
Absolutely.
By the way, he loves this house. What does that mean? Had he not been here? He's seeing a house for the first time. He's never seen your house before?
Oh, my house, but he's been away from his home for like the last year and a half.
Gotcha.
And like if I would have had my way and with it, able to give him the perfect death, we would have come back home and we would have been in his home. But it just
Your grandfather's funny, I gotta tell you, because when you said that, he goes, no, I didn't want that. I was
okay, good.
tight when I passed. I didn't feel nothing. I just took my last breath and I'm on the other side. If I was home, I would have felt that stuff. No. Don't have regrets for that. I'm good.
Okay.
Besides, he's saying, when you said that, I saw the holding of the hand, which is that people were with him when he took his last breath, and you did come to see him, because he's telling me that he heard everything that you had to say, that you said everything, and that he heard you, and that it doesn't end now. He said this is just the beginning of a brand new, different type of language. He didn't even know he was going to get to communicate after he passed, but that is like a cherry on top of the cake. I don't think he believed in this before he passed. He was like, I can still communicate? That is freaking the bomb.
Oh, I know. They're very...
Almost like if you moved to Egypt or something and never knew that you could mail letters back and forth or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, slow down. Something about where you're holding his funeral, he's saying he helped with that. I feel like he moved things around or made it, I don't know if he made the facility bigger or he used synchronicity and alignment to get you in at that moment, or they moved things around to fit you in. But he's showing me moving things around and that he helped with that.
There's enough siblings that the grandkids weren't really involved in any of that, so I don't know any of the particulars as to that, but they were worried that it wouldn't be, they would be too late, or my grandma's very particular, so she was very worried that it wouldn't be on the right date or
so perfect. So this is exactly what I mean when I say that they're going to tell you things going on in your reality that I can't know, so that he's still with you. And what I mean when I say that they use their energy to move synchronicity and alignment around so that they can help you with stuff. When you're talking about him being in shorts, he shows me he's in shorts. When you guys are talking to him and say, we need this date and this time, he's like, done. I helped with that. We helped move things around and we got it exactly when you wanted it. Don't stop talking to him and including him in your life, because he's already been able to figure out how to use synchronicity and alignment to communicate. And he's thanking you for that, because it's only because you've been here before that you thought to come here today. And now because you're here today, he's like, wow, I can do this. So he's like over the moon. It's funny. He's pulling his energy back and winked at me and said, now we're getting the kid a bike. What does that mean? Your son needs a bike?
Yeah, he does. He really needs one bad.
See, Grandpa knows. He's on it. And now the jackhammering's going again. Spiritual emphasis. You can't make it up.
No.
Okay, go enjoy that service. I shouldn't say enjoy. I say that because he's going to enjoy every single second of it. Just so you know, they love the story.
Oh, I know.
They love seeing who shows up. They love hearing what people really thought of them. And he's just, all I feel is gratitude for the life that he lived. He's like, make no mistake, I had a good life. I have great kids and great grandkids. And I don't get this kind of message all the time from the souls before they totally cross over. But he feels like a very blessed man.
Was there?
I hope that was helpful, sweetie. And I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
You're very welcome, hon. Okay, so where are we going here? The hardest two people for me to read on here are going to be Christina and Maureen, because I've read for you guys so many times. So I'm going to, I can't remember MW. I can't remember your first name, sweetie. I think it's Michelle, but I might be wrong. You just got to take your mute off, and then I'm going to read for you next.
It's Mackenzie.
Mackenzie, thank you. This is how you can tell that once I get reading, anything that's in this brain, gone. You could ask me what I had for breakfast today, and I'd be like, I don't know. I have no idea. It's not my brain no more. Who do you want me to connect to, hon?
My dad.
Your dad. Okay. Okay, let's do this connection exercise. I've read for him before, haven't I?
You have, yes.
He just said hello again. Did he have a very deep voice? Because you hear me go, whoa.
Yeah, he did.
Like literally, I heard it, hello again. I can't even do it. My voice cracks. All right, let's do this. Both feet flat on the floor. I want you to close your eyes, and then I want you to take a deep breath. Picturing that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, and then blow it directly towards me, and give me a minute to focus. Okay, interesting. So, even though I know I've read for your dad before, he's taken me through his passing. I feel the itchy face all over, which is my sign of disfiguration, or that I did not look at the end of my life the way that I did through most of my life. He does show me a bit of a big belly, though, and then he shows me how much better shape he is on the other side. How do you understand the belly?
Well, so he used to be really big. Well, like, okay, sorry. He didn't used to be really big, but he was always like a buffer man. Like he had a solid build.
Yeah,
But when he passed, so when he passed, like he had lost a lot of weight. He was like probably like a third of his size.
yeah.
He was induced like in a medical coma for the last couple of days. Like he was in the ICU. So that would explain like the
The swollen
disfiguration.
belly. And the swollen belly, like all of it. Like what he's showing me is that thank God he's on the other side. He's the right size again. I saw that belly, and it's funny because you said that he was a big guy, and it's when you said that he goes, "Don't get it twisted. We're not talking fat here." He's like, "I'm
Yeah.
strong." And then when you said he lost all that weight, he's like, "Yeah," but then there's something about the belly being distended. It's probably at the very end. Before he passed, especially as you started saying that it's cancer, you said, right?
So what had exactly happened was he had a lung infection.
Yeah,
So he went into the hospital 2 days before Christmas actually. Um, they had it got so bad that they had to intubate him. And where we are in the north, they couldn't necessarily like they weren't equipped to help him, so they shipped him to another hospital that's almost 4 hours away from us. And then he kept failing his extubation, so they had to keep him intubated.
interesting. So this is why okay, I'm starting to understand why I feel so disfigured, right? Why I'm seeing my sign for diagnosis and then a little bit of time lapse. When I see diagnosis and time lapse, that's when I start thinking cancer, because it means that even though as soon as we knew what was wrong, it didn't get fixed right away. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But here's the thing that was confusing me until you said that was that I'm not feeling pain when I transition, except for right here down my back. At one point, it was like sharp pains. As you were telling your story, when you said just before you said he was transferred, I got this sharp pain all the way down my back and in my side. And so there's something about that intubation or something from that time that he was transferred that was he was in a lot of pain. And then he showed me the light switch, which is my symbol for choices and decisions that were made. So I just felt extreme relief, automatically relief, which is like medication. I know that feeling. It's like, okay, you took away all my pain. Did you see my camera light up when I said that too?
Yep.
Freaky. Huh.
The craziest part is that so when he was like in my hometown, like I said, they weren't really like medically equipped for him. So when they sent him to like a better hospital, they actually found that he had like a really bad hip infection, but they couldn't figure that out here in my hometown. So when he got over there, they did like a complete CT of his whole body.
Yeah.
And that's how they found the hip infection. And the choices and decisions was probably because he, when he passed, he was 48. So I had to make the
All
decision
of
to either
them.
keep him on life support or to remove him. Um, and I ultimately decided to like stop the suffering because he wasn't coming back from it.
He's thanking you for that because I literally felt all my pain dissipate and immediately. See, it's not an accident in the order that these messages came through. And what did that lady that was here right before her funeral for her papa literally just said, I'm not gone. I'm still here.
Mhm.
Okay, hold on. They're all in my head all over the place today. He doesn't want to go over his death again. He wants to talk about what's going on right now. He's got a rose, which is birthday, anniversary, a date that happens once a year. I feel like we're celebrating somebody's birthday or something, but I feel like I want to go underneath. Do you have children?
Um, so I'm in a new relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and my partner has two children,
Yep.
but I don't have any of my own.
Is it one of their birthdays or anniversaries or something coming up?
No, mine is next month.
In August. That's where I'm
Yes.
going, is August. So I'm getting two messages in one. So he's got the rose, which is my symbol for birthday, anniversary, or a date that happens once a year, which would be coming up next month. That's Dad saying happy birthday to you. And I'm also seeing him talk about children. Is this the gentleman? It's interesting. I literally heard the question, is this the man that you want to have children with? Is this the person that you want to be with? Is this the one? Because if it is, then those children will come in because I'm feeling them all over you. All over you. Have you guys talked about having babies or having children?
Yeah, so we're actually going through a process right now. So I had mentioned like my partner has kids of his own. He thought he was done after he had his second. So he had like a procedure done, so he couldn't have any more kids. Then we met, and that was like an ultimatum for me. Like I wasn't willing to give up my opportunity to have children, so we're going through a process right now.
I love that because I feel them all over you. And your dad is like wanting you to know that he's already met them on the other side.
Oh, it's them.
Oh, yeah, I'm not feeling just one. Um, and it's interesting because I do see synchronicity and alignment in the way that the child comes in, almost like we've been trying. When you say we're going through a process right now, it's funny because I almost feel like there's only a small window for the child to come through. The way I feel it is that maybe just up until now you've been trying to prevent that from happening, but I'm seeing now that it's been a small window that's opened, and this child's like looking for any opportunity. If you leave that window open, they will come through. And I say they because I'm seeing one of each at least. There's something about cowboy boots. Why are they showing me cowboy boots?
Um,
do you
I'm
live
not
on
sure.
do you live on a piece of property?
No. Like I don't have like there's bush and stuff around us, but like we're in a pretty like popular neighborhood. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of houses around us.
Because this is why I'm asking it this way, because it feels like either you're on like a farm or you're around horses or something, or he's putting you on a horse. Like there's something about riding horses. Like I literally saw the I'm from Calgary. I don't know where you live, but I'm seeing like all of the stampede stuff, like the cowboy hat, the boots, the horses, the whole 9 yards.
That's so weird because I live in Ontario, like I live in Northern Ontario.
Yeah, they don't do that stuff up there.
No.
Interesting. Slow that down. Why are you showing me this, Dad? Do you know if your dad used to like watch old westerns and stuff like that?
Um, I don't know.
I'll tell you why, because I don't know exactly what this means. But when I asked him, what the heck does this mean? He showed me something to the side, and then, which is like brother, cousin, sibling, something like that. I could hear like the pew pews going off in the background, like old Western movies and stuff like that. And there's something about traveling. I can feel that you're probably not in Calgary or in Alberta, which is why I'm not asking you if you went to the Stampede recently, because I can feel that you're a little far away from that. And I'm asking him, why is he showing me this? And when I say, why are you showing me this? He's showing me somebody to the side and travel, and I don't know what the heck he's trying to talk about. Do you have a brother?
So I have two brothers.
Okay.
But like I don't know if this has anything to do with like the cowboy boots, but like the traveling. So um my mom's side of the family is from BC.
Mm-hmm.
My brothers and I and my mom are the only people that live in Ontario. So for a while, like we've been trying to plan a trip to bring my mom back home to
Yeah.
visit. So like all of her family's from BC. So we've been trying to like look for an opportunity to be able to go bring her back home. But I don't know if that has
And
anything to
guess
do with
what
this.
they have in BC?
Is it horses?
Yeah, you're going to find horses and ranches in BC and Alberta so much sooner than you're going to find them in, well, you'll still find them in Ontario too, just not the same as down here. Either way, with the travel and stuff and the siblings and whatnot, your loved ones hear what you're saying and what you're talking about. And in that kind of situation, I think what he's saying is to just ask him that he will guide you towards that he will line up synchronicity and alignment to put you in the right place at the right time to give you the money or the supports or whatever it is, the time off work, whatever it is you need to make that happen, he will supply it. Even if he has to put you on a horse and get you to horseback all the way there. I don't think that's it. But I think there's something special about the horse, though, because as we start talking about this, the love that is coming from dad to your mom is just going boom, 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 boom. He was still very much in love with your mom. You understand that, right?
I do, yes.
And I think that man would do anything and for her. And I think that there's something like if your mom wants to go home and ride horses, dad's going to make sure it happens. But there's also something about I'm still seeing old Western TV shows and stuff like that. So I don't know what the connection to that is. It's like one of those piggyback messages. You know what I mean? I think it
Yeah,
has
I'm not
something
sure
to do
either.
with your brother. When you talk to your brothers, I would ask them if they've been watching anything like that, some kind of gun battle show, or you know what I mean, an old western of something or something like that. Because the dead like to bring up details of things going on in your life that I can't know so that you know they're with them. And if your brothers don't believe in this, and when I say that, he laughs and goes, understatement. Um, so if, did you hear that? Understatement?
Yep.
That if they don't believe in this, then he has to pull out the big guns, literally. Oh, he's funny. To be able to prove to them that he can see what's going on. So if one of them just sits down and watches some show about, you know, the Wild West or a gunfight or something like that, and then you talk to them and you say, were you watching something about an old Western or a gunfight recently? They'll be like, how do you know that? And you'll be like, Dad said, and that
Oh my
gets them the message that he's watching over them, or it's going to freak them out beyond words. Either way, win-win, your dad said.
Oh my goodness.
He's also wanting you to know that he's got the dog there. Do you guys have a dog on the other side? Because he's showing me a lot of relief and gratitude to be reunited with a dog on the other side.
No, like I have two dogs myself, but they're like with me.
No, he's got a dog on the other side. He goes, you talk to my family. My family will know.
Huh. No, I don't. I don't know who, like which
He's
dog
still
it is.
got a couple of siblings here in the physical world.
No.
He shows me two people to the side that would have known him growing up.
Um,
He
see,
has no
yeah,
siblings?
no, he has no siblings. He was his only parent's child. But like I don't know if this is what he's talking about. So when I had went through my separation, I went and got a mortgage on my own. I did everything by myself, and then that's when I met like my partner. Anyway, when I went to go sign all the paperwork for the mortgage, the girl that I dealt with at the bank, I had seen her like a couple times and she never said anything to me. But then I had went and got, so my partner and I bought a side by side and we used the same bank that I bought my mortgage through. Anyway, and she was like, I've been wanting to tell you this, but she's like, I don't know how you would react. But she was like, your grandma raised me. So she knew who my dad was. And she was like, I wanted to say something, but I didn't know how to bring it up to you. And she's like, because it's like a professional setting. But she's like, I'm getting the feeling that like now is just a good time to bring it up. So she had told me a lot about my grandma because I never really got to know my grandma. And I think that that would kind of be like a step sibling kind of.
Oh, let me tell you, this is exactly what your dad is talking about. See, they don't care if I understand the message or not. They say things in a way so that, like, this is why I call them puzzle pieces, and they don't change the messages because I don't understand them. He's showing me the people to the side. Now, when you said this girl was raised by your dad or was raised by your grandmother, so she would have been like a sibling to your dad. That's why I'm like, what? He has no siblings? I see two people.
Yeah.
So that tells me either that there's somebody, your grandmother raised somebody else as well, or this girl is married and your dad's talking about her and her husband. All I know is he's showing me the two people, that he has the dog. And so let me show you this even better. Your loved ones on the other side are not missing a single beat of your life. Nothing. So if you line up with somebody who was like a sibling to your dad here in the physical world that you didn't even know of, now that he's on the other side, A, chances are he's the one that lined that up for you. And B, he's right there with you, experiencing the meetup and the greet, the entire thing. He's right there with you. He knows that you have met the person that was like a sibling to him. So when he connects with me, wait, I go too fast. And not just that, right before that, he finished giving you a message for your brother. And then and what did we say? It's not an accident in the order the messages get delivered, and they'll give you a message of something that you can't know to deliver, so that when you deliver it, that person's like, how did you know that? I never told you that. Then he brings up a sibling you didn't even know about either. And whether it's like an adopted sibling or not, this is like a sibling, right? And he says,
Yeah.
tell her I have the dog. Now that's a way that's going to get a message to everybody involved that he's okay, because you don't even know if she had a dog or lost a dog. How
I
much you
really
want to bet
don't.
they had a dog growing up at some point that was special to them or important to them. And when you tell her that this came up, and think what you want, but dad said, he's got the dog, she'll be like, oh my God, how do you know that? That's how the dead let you know that they're seeing everything around you. It's literally mathematically impossible to be fluke, random, or chance.
That's crazy.
He loves that. He needed you to have somebody that would be able to tell you stories. That would be able, because that was the message I was getting, is that ask. He wants you to talk about him. He wants you to ask stories about him. He knows that you want to know about him growing up and about different things that you can compare to yourself and your kids and things like that, right? So he sent you, before your children are even born, somebody that can give you the stories that you're looking for.
Yeah, I guess that's like, I never thought of it that way, because when she had said something, I was I was like completely amazed, because I'm like, I don't have someone to tell me these stories. It's not like he has a brother that I could be like, how was my dad growing up? Or like,
Yeah.
maybe like yeah.
He knew that you were feeling and that you were wishing and that you had somebody to be able to give you these messages. And he's like, well, matter of fact, there is somebody. Let me help you synchronize and align that into your world so that you two can connect. Now is the right time.
So it's funny because um after my dad had passed away, he kept pictures of like everything.
Yeah.
Um and in one of the photo albums, I have her graduation pictures.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's like a little hint of what's to come. He loves her very much too. I can feel that. And there's something about being torn apart. Not that he wanted to stop talking to her, but something about I don't know, there's something in the middle. It's like, I don't know if they were separated by distance or space, somebody moved away. There was something that happened that was like, we don't talk about this.
Yeah. I think I know exactly what he's talking about.
But that doesn't mean that we don't stop there, that we stop loving them. It just means that we love from a distance. And again, I emphasize this again, your loved ones are so listening to everything that you say, and it's seeing everything that's going on in your world. And so when you ask them for help with something, they will send it. They send it, and they use synchronicity and alignment to put you in the right place at the right moment at the right time to receive what you've asked for. What you were asking for was somebody that would be able to share your dad's soul with you. And so he placed you in the right place at the right moment at the right time. And then he whispered in her heart, now. Because how many times do you want to bet that she has seen you before and just held that back? All the conditions had to be right. That's spirit. They never go away.
That's crazy.
He's wishing you a happy birthday, and he's getting very excited about this next chapter of your life. But he's also singing, put a ring on it. If you're going to take it to that next chapter, he's like, put the ring on it.
That's so funny.
You know why? It's just a different level of commitment. Whether or not you have a piece of paper, something my grandma taught me a long time ago. It's not about the piece of paper that legally binds you together. It's not about that. It's about the ceremony where you get up and you announce in front of the entire world, this girl, in front of all of my family and friends, this is the one that I want to spend the rest of my life with. This is the girl that I love and that I'm committed to. When they get up there and declare that in front of everybody, now that's a commitment. Whole different thing than just living together.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because like when we had brought up like the topic of, like moving on to like a new chapter, like we had both agreed that we want to be married before we have a baby, just because we both agreed like if we're going to be it, like this is going to be it. And at least we have like that commitment. And that's exactly what we talked about. So it's crazy that he's saying that.
Well, that's why your dad's showing me that window open then. That makes sense to me now because he was showing me that there was a lot of blockage and that he's like, but there's a little bit of a window open now. And I'm like, so what's the problem? They're going through a process. They want to have a baby. Now we know the problem. He's like, come on, chop, chop. Let's get the ring on it. Otherwise, you're not going to fit the wedding dress the way you want to fit the wedding dress. And you won't be able to drink at your own wedding. That would be a shame. Not because he's an alcoholic or anything like that, but because he wants you to be able to thoroughly enjoy the wedding in whatever way that you want to enjoy it. There's lots of time for everything, and just know that he's not going to miss a single piece of it.
I really love hearing that.
Okay, he's pulling his energy back. One more thing is he's pulling his energy back. I saw a fake tattoo. Do one of your partner's kids have a fake tattoo on them right now? What's with the fake tattoo?
I don't know.
Is there something about a birthday party? Are they coming next weekend? Do they come every other weekend?
So we get them a week and a week. So we get them back tomorrow.
That's what I'm seeing. That like 1 weekend or 1 week on, 1 week off. I thought it was weekend on, weekend off. Either way, I'm seeing on and off, on and off. There's something about the tattoo. Just in case, do you know how to get one of those temporary tattoos off?
No.
Vegetable oil, any kind of, or coconut oil or lotion of some sort. Just oil on it will wipe right off. Come right off real easy. You want to know how
like he doesn't want it to be on?
If you want to get it off. All I know is he's showing me that stick-on tattoo thing, and then he's showing me the oil. So when they sometimes spirit will pick out. I just had this happen in my members, actually. I connected to a member, and right away, her mom started talking about she was potty training her little one, and I know all kinds of tricks for potty training. So she started like telling her, "This is how you potty train in 1 day." Blah blah blah. It's almost like the same thing. There's something about a temporary tattoo being stuck on, and your dad's like, "Oh, by the way, when they come home with that temporary tattoo stuck on them, just take some oil, and it'll rub right off." And if he's saying it in that way, it's because they can see what's about to happen. They can see the future before it happens, right? So what he's trying to do is he's killing two birds with one stone in a message like that. A, he's letting you know that when that moment happens, he's there with you and he saw it happen before you saw it happen. And B, he's still being productive and helpful in your life by telling you how to fix it, because men like to fix stuff. And your dad is no exception, let me tell you. He's like, I'm still like to fix stuff. So I can see the answer before you even know what the problem is. I'm going to tell you. That also tells me that when this child comes home with this tattoo, it's probably not going to be in a place that is acceptable for out in public or something. My son, the reason why I know this is because the day before picture day, he plastered his entire neck with temporary tattoos.
Oh
Third
my
grade.
goodness.
How do you get that shit off without making your kid look like you strangled them before you went to school? Picture day, yay! That's when I learned about the oil. So
Oh my
take
goodness.
that wherever that leads you. And just keep talking to your dad, because this man has so much love for you guys. It's not even funny. He's like, mark my words, you are going on that trip. Mom is going on that trip. Just thank him for lining it up for you. Thank him for paying for it. Tell him to show you the details when you need to know. And here's the other thing. You won't know until you need to know. But just like you didn't know that girl, you needed to be in that place for that girl to see you, to tell you that, you don't have to worry about that. They worry about the synchronicity and the alignment. Your job is to just be an open receptor to the information that's coming in, and to keep talking to him and giving him things to do so that he can help you with this, because he likes to fix things.
I can see that happening for sure. The one thing that I did want to mention too is that like a couple of weeks ago, so it's weird because my birthday is coming up, but my dad always used to buy me like these funny cards for my birthday.
Yeah.
And I kept the last one that he gave me, and it was like on the front of it, it says like rock and roll, and then you open it and it's like nothing but a good time, like that song.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I try not to open it like often because I don't want the batteries to die in it, because I would have no idea how to change it. But anyway, a couple weeks ago, my stepdaughter was playing with it, and at first I was going to get upset because I didn't want her to waste the battery in it. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just a sign that he's here in this moment with us.
Yes, it's their way of like knocking at the door so that you can't ignore them. And just so you know, don't get upset that you won't know how to change the battery. Clearly, there's a way for the battery to be changed. There is a way. It's just that you don't know what it is, because there is a battery
Yeah.
there, right? So if there is a way, he's on that side. If you can have two choices. You can get anxious and limit your activity and your love of the card because you're afraid that the batteries will die, or you can enjoy the card every moment of every day that you are inspired to enjoy it. And when the battery dies, get excited that your dad is going to show you how to fix it, and you can put a new battery in, because batteries can be replaced. Even if you have to carefully open that card up, there is a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. You don't have to limit yourself. You just have to ask him to show you the way. And that is literally his language now that he doesn't have a physical meat suit. He'd be happy to. So
That's
that's
awesome.
kind of the message he's giving you with the card, is like, stop limiting yourself from hearing this card. You can hear it as much as you want. And if the battery dies, great. You're going to say, show me how to open this card and change the battery, Dad. And then he's going to line you up with that answer. And then you're going to change the battery, and you're going to enjoy hundreds more hours of hearing that message.
I love that.
Have a beautiful, amazing birthday. Keep talking to him. He just gave you chocolate cake, and he's like very excited because I don't think that he ate a lot of cake here in the physical world, but he's showing you that now that he's on the other side, he can enjoy a little sugar. Oh, he's pulling his energy back. I hope
Thank
that
you
was
so much. Very, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Okay, where am I going here? Maureen, let's go to you first. Let's go to you. You just got to take your mute off for me. That's your camera. There you go. Oh, I can't hear you. Try again. There we go. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Did I turn my volume down, or is it just your your computer's just quiet? I can listen carefully. Oh, my whole face just got itchy. Interesting. What's your focus today, hon? I know you always come to me with a focus.
3 people. Go, Tracy.
What?
I said 3 different people. Go, Tracy.
What does that mean?
I asked the questions last night, so they're supposed to come through to you and give you the answers. You want initials? M, R, and A.
Okay, well, here's the thing, is that I've only got 15, 20 minutes with you, right, on these live readings here.
Go
So
with
if
M.
I'm trying to sense 3 different energies coming through, then I'm going to waste all my time sensing all these energies coming through. So how about you just give me one to start?
M. Starts with M.
This is a gentleman?
Yeah.
Okay, right away I can feel the gentleman energy. Is this your cousin to the side? See, I've read for you a number of times. All I know is when you say M, I go above to the side or to the side, and my camera lights up like it's freaking Christmas. All right, settle down, spirit. Who is M to you?
A fellow friend. I just want to know what's going on.
Let's do this. I don't usually talk to your friends. That gets me excited. I talk to your grandparents all the time, but now we got somebody fresh blood coming in. That's probably said that very wrong. Please forgive me. Let's do this. All right, both feet flat on the floor. I want you to close your eyes, and then I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to picture that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, and then blow it directly towards me, and give me a minute to focus. Okay, slow this down. So you know how he passed, right? I hope so, because he's taken me through his passing from his experience, not from ours. Right away, my head hurts. Everything hurts in my head, and I'm not sure why. I feel pressure in my head. I feel ringing in my ears. Slow this down. It feels like I'm wearing a very, very heavy suit. I feel like and my face is a little bit itchy, definitely some disfiguration feeling. Feels like I'm moving almost in slow motion or underwater. But then at the very end, I just feel peace. Like I see the snap of the fingers, which is like the actual passing is very quick as I pop out of the body. And then he's showing me his strength, how strong he is on that side, how much better he feels on that side. And I saw the soul tethered to the physical body with the spiritual cord, like a baby is tethered to mom with the umbilical cord. It's interesting because they usually show me that if the body was in such disrepair or in so much pain that they don't want to feel it, the soul will step out and stay tied to the body. Or if they pass before anybody else is there, they will show me stepping out and staying tied to the body. How are you understanding this? How did he pass?
He had cancer and it took him.
This is why it's always important for me to ask if you knew exactly how he passed and stuff, because there's something about the very end being in a lot of pain. That last couple of weeks before he passed.
So just let me back up here. When you said, who do I want to connect to? Usually, Tracy, it's whoever comes through to you and answers the questions about what I've asked. So I think you're talking about my cousin, but I'm not, it doesn't matter to me who you connect with. Do you know what I mean? It's usually my grandparents to come through to answer the questions. So if Martin wants to come through and answer the questions, that's okay too.
Well, you chose who you wanted to come through. This is why I said, who do you want your focus to be, right?
What I meant was, who do I want to connect? I guess it's, yeah, it doesn't matter to me who connects. It's whoever wants to bring the answers.
Okay, part of that, the problem that we have here is that I don't know the question. How can I interpret an answer if I don't know the question? Now, I can tell you what they're saying, but this is why I tell people this is not a test. What you're asking me to do is kind of testing them in a certain way. They will come through and give you validations and messages of and answers to a question. But if I can't interpret it properly, I have no idea what the question is. Let me give you an example of what I mean. I had a lady come through in one of my readings one time, and she gave me a name, just like what you did. Give me a name. Who do you want me to connect to, right? She gave me a name. I still remember the name to this day. It was Tyson. And so I start to do the connection exercise. And as I'm doing the connection exercise and I'm telling her, put your feet on the floor, do like, everything I just said to you, I see the soul on the other side going, yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Okay, okay, okay. And I'm like, well, that's weird. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to them. Why are you doing that? Like, that makes no sense. And so then they start taking me through their passing from their experience, not yours, right? And I asked this girl, are you understanding this? And she goes, well, I wouldn't know. He was a dog. How am I supposed to know? Do you understand what I'm saying? Now I understand why he was so obedient. But if you don't tell me what I'm focusing on, I'm not going to translate the answer in a way you can understand. I have to know the question.
Okay. Question is, what's going on in Mark's head regarding me and another gal?
Perfect.
There we
That
go.
I can help you with.
Okay.
And now what happens? That's what I call your focus. Now you just gave me the focus on the issue that's going on in your world. Now what's going to happen is who steps forward to answer that question is going to be who has the ability to help you with that question. And it's not Martin. Because he just stood back and he's like, no, peace out, hon. I can't help you with that one. And then my whole camera lights up like that. All right, slow this down. I definitely can feel some games being played or something being going on. Something was spoken because it's your grandma. It's always your grandma. I know it's always your grandma. She steps forward and she put tape over the mouth, which is my sign of something that's been said that shouldn't have been said, or something that is not being said that should be said. And it feels like I'm in two realities. I'm in one reality here, but there's another completely different reality in the vibrational world at the same time. And he's very aware of that. It's not an accident. There is something that is very aware by both parties that's not being spoken about. Now, when you ask, let me fine tune this question. You're asking what he is thinking about these two. Oh, I see. He's liking the attention. There's something about the attention.
Do you want a little bit more information?
That will help me process the extreme love of the attention I'm getting. Whatever you ask, he's getting a lot of attention that I feel really addicted to.
He was living with a gal in the States, in Seattle, and they sold their property. He came up here and is living in his dad's place because his dad is not there anymore. And she bought a home in Seattle. So it's like.
So what you're really asking is, are they going to stay together? Oh, I gotcha. That's unspoken. Because there's tension, there's chemistry in the room that we're not speaking about. We are covering it up. But this is why it's important that they say things in a certain way, because I already knew that. What I didn't know was that it was mutual. What did they say? It goes both ways.
That's with us or with them?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, as far as because you asked, what is he thinking and feeling? Now that's on the fence of what spirit will tell me. They don't usually dive into what other people's thoughts and emotions and feelings are. They dive into what's going on in your life, right? It's not about predicting what's coming up. It's about giving you details and validations of what's going on right now and helping you guide towards where you want to be. When you're asking about this situation, it feels important that you speak how you feel and let the chips fall where they may. Do you see what I mean? Slow this down. Okay, hold on a sec. Did he almost, okay. When you said she just bought a house, I feel like that's new information. However, then she shows me, we're going to say M, okay? She shows me M, and I felt kind of a depressive feeling, but then bing, joy immediately. And what I heard was, why do you think you didn't get so upset? So he didn't react the way that you thought someone would react. If I was missing my spouse, somebody I was in love with and wanted to be with for the rest of my life, I would be so sad that they're not here with me, that they buy a house somewhere else. And I think at first you saw that disappointment, but then right away that was gone. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Because he's so much enjoying where he is right now. The thing is that you got to understand that that's very confusing for him in a sense. And that all you're, see what's going on right now is there's chemistry building. That's exactly what's going on. You're enjoying the moment. And so is he. Something happened though since you and I last talked that spiked that to a whole new level. I don't know what that is, but something spiked that to a whole new level. I can feel the momentum is different than it was before.
We've been hanging out and lots of laughs, and we have the same ideas, we've done a lot of the same things, same thoughts.
And then he slips it into conversation. Oh yeah, well, she bought a house in Seattle. He's kind of setting the stage. She might not be coming back. I'm telling you, give it time. Give it time.
Because I'm being very, how would you say, I don't know what the word is, nonchalant, because it's like, as far as I'm concerned, you still have a person, and I'm not gonna.
But remember, you and I have talked before about boundaries, and that's exactly what you need right now, right? You need to be able to defend those boundaries because you weren't able to do that before and you got hurt. Now that happened so that you could be ready to be ready for the right moment. Remember you and I talking about that? That was just training so that when you are in line with the right person, you don't drop the ball. Now that you have somebody that is extremely compatible in your world, if you didn't have those boundaries so solid and you dropped the ball in a sense like you did with the other person, if you know what I mean, we know what I'm talking about here, then that is not going to develop the way that you want it to go. It's going to develop the way that other situation developed. But what's going to happen now is, because I can see the almost wanting to kiss you or like wanting to take it to that next level. Do you know what I mean? But we can't because of the elephant in the room. So there's little things being slipped under the radar. Like, well, she might not be coming back, and he'll throw out all these little excuses and maybe even make a move. But when you say, no, I know there's somebody else, and that is not who I am. If you want to be with me, it's because you want to be with me, not because I'm second fiddle or something, right? I'm nobody's second choice. And when you hold those boundaries, that's when somebody's going to choose you. That's when everything's going to change. But it's about you learning to be okay in the moment and let it get there. No, and being happy with the good times that you have right now instead of hoping and wishing for what it could be. Just enjoy where you are right now. Take it step by step. And remember, God prepared you for this. All that pain you just went through was getting you ready to be ready for the right moment.
And like, her name starts with a P, and there's no secret there. Like, it's talked about. It's not snuck in there. It just talks to her every day. So it's like, well, we're just friends, and there's been no moves. There's been no hints of moves. It's like we're just best friends. But it's like, it's weird because we do like each other. I mean, that's.
So hold your ground, honey. Hold your ground. You do not allow any moves whatsoever until that is over.
Okay.
And that I want you to just reflect on the last year and remember that lesson. And I want you to make sure every time you date this guy, every time you go for coffee with him, no matter what, do not shave your legs.
Don't worry.
No matter what. You're going to be a hairy beast for every single date. And then no matter what happens, you're safe.
Mm.
You will make the right choice in the moment, no matter what happens, because I'd rather be dead than be an ape in that moment. You get what I'm saying? That's just one way to help you protect yourself so that you make the right choice at the right moment at the right time.
Yeah.
Let's finish it with a card and see what they say about this. And I'm really proud of you, actually, because learning to enjoy the moment is a big part of this lesson over the last year. But especially if this is going where I think it's going, then you can exactly see how everything that just happened in the last year was just preparation for this. What's coming up between these two? Give it time. I keep seeing give it time. And if a move is made before anything is solidified, nah, you have to know what you want, right? And what your boundaries are, your standards are, and that is that there's nobody else in the picture. You're building up some momentum of sexual attraction here. The Devil card, this is a card of the flesh. It is attraction. It is physical desire at its finest. Here we got the slowest moving card in the deck. Makes sense, right? Because it's not supposed to go from friendship to spouse. You're supposed to enjoy the ride along the way. This is the yes card of the tarot. Yes, this is new beginning, new journey, new moving forward, but it's going to take time. You're supposed to marinate in the attraction and let that be so strong that that boy's willing to drop everything and do what he has to do to get you in his life. Let that be, I mean, that's when you're really going to feel loved. When somebody does everything they have to do and says, no, it's you that I want. I will cut ties with relationships that don't serve me anymore. I will do whatever I need to do because I need to see you every single day. I need to have you in my life every single day. That's when you're going to feel chosen. That's what you've been waiting for. This is how you get chosen, is you let it build. Forgive me for saying this, and if you have kids in the room, please plug your ears. But it's like an orgasm. You can't just go in and pop it off. It's not as good as if you let it build and let it build and let it build, and that's when it feels better. It's building right now. Enjoy the ride, literally. That makes me blush. And I'm glad to hear that you've been occupied and busy and stuff. We haven't talked in a couple of weeks, and I've been praying. You've been in my prayers, and I've been thinking about you and just hoping that you're doing well. So that's good to hear. Just take time, and this is your assignment right now is to learn how to enjoy the moment and trust God. I know you saw Trump shot in the air, millisecond. God's timing is precise. It is that precise. You are exactly where you need to be at exactly the right moment, at exactly the right time. Does that make sense? Awesome. I hope that was helpful.
It was, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to let them pull their energy back. Just so you know, your grandma just bear hugged you and stuff, and she's like, just remember that she's your guide on these things. Don't ask the men to come forward because she's like pushing them away. Especially she's like rolling her eyes about Michael was your cousin? Was that his name?
Martin. Yeah.
She's like, as if he could help you with this kind of stuff. And she's like laughing. But he would try. You said focus on him. He's like, okay, I'll step forward. I'll talk to her. I'll let her know I'm here. I can't help her with the dating stuff, but I'll let her know I'm here.
I'll talk to you next time, Martin.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to let them pull their energy back.
Okay. Thanks, Tracy.
You're welcome. Christina. All right, my friend. Give me your focus. You definitely have to give me your focus because I read for you so often that you got to give me a focus.
Well, why don't we just do the cards? Like, I feel like I know I'm not stuck and I'm trying to keep the faith, but like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. And I know that they can't tell me what to do because I have free will.
What to do with what, honey?
like if I should like go up to like the 5 days, or if I should stay at the 4 days for work, or
Well,
I just don't.
that's really easy to figure out, honey. How do you feel? So,
I want to, but I don't want to. That's the issue.
what does that mean?
Like I want to, but like I don't know. Like maybe if I change from like, because as of right now, I have to do 3 days in a row, and I'm like exhausted by like the third day.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe if I change a day off, then.
Well,
I
if
don't know.
you're doing 3 days in a row right now, so let me see if I understand this correctly. You've been given an opportunity to do 4 or 5 days a week.
Well, it's gonna be coming, because the promotion's coming.
Right.
So I'm trying to think about it before, so I know, so I could tell them.
Well, you just answered your own question, honey. See, when you have a decision like that, it's never about which choice do I make. It's ultimately, it comes down to this. You're either going to make a decision based on love for yourself and your family, or you're going to make a decision based on fear of what will or won't happen if you do or don't make that choice. Now, when you say it in that perspective and you look at the choice you have, from what you've already told me, you know that working 3 days is exhausting and a lot on your plate. You've just been through recently an extraordinarily traumatic situation in your life. You're still healing and recovering. It can take years for a nervous system to reset after a situation like what you've been through. Okay, so it's a year later. You've healed enough that you're already back at work. You're working 3 days a week. You're working so well at your job that you're already getting a promotion. And so you've recognized that after 3 days of work in a row, you feel a little bit tired and exhausted, but you've been given an opportunity to take 4 or 5 days in a promotion. Taking on that promotion, which is something that you want, it would make a lot more sense to me if I'm seeing that one choice, 4 or 5, one of those choices is going to be based on love, and one of those choices is going to be based on fear. It's very easy for me to see which one of those choices, if I'm going to take the promotion and it comes with either 4 or 5 days, which one of those choices is based on love for you and your child that you have now, and which one of those choices is based on fear?
Well, 5 is the fear.
There you go. You just answered it. That's exactly, your choice is done. And here's why I say it that way. Because every single time you make a choice based on love for yourself and your children and your family, it will always bloom for you. Always. Every single time. Every single time you make a choice based on fear of what will or won't happen if you do or don't make that choice, it's going to blow up in your face every single time. Never make a choice based on fear. Your job is not to sit down and figure out which choice to make. Your job is to sit down and think about which choice is based on love and which choice is based on fear, and then the decision is made for you.
Yeah. But I mean, the 5 days isn't like, it's not a fear thing. It was just, I was debating it because sure, I could use the extra day, but at the same time, I can't overwork myself. I gotta have time to still heal and be able, because I can't overdo it and not be able to take care of myself or Sheree.
Exactly. So taking the promotion that has 5 days a week would not be good for you in any way, shape, or form, would it?
No.
Why would you make that choice? Why would you make a choice that would hurt you and your child if it's not for fear of losing the job, not meeting expectations, not having enough money? You can phrase it however you want, but the only way that you would make the choice to take the 5 days when you know you're not physically and mentally and emotionally ready for 5 days would be fear of not having enough money, not being, you get where I'm going with this. It might be different various forms of fear or of making decisions. whatever, what's the other word I'm trying to use this? Maybe you're not seeing the actual fear part of it, but it would definitely not being made out of love. It would be obligation. That's the word I'm looking for. Obligation, or on what you expect that is for yourself, but it's definitely not based on love for you and your child, right?
Yeah.
Taking 4 days a week gives you the opportunity to have, it steps you up a bit. It's not like you're sitting here going, no, I refuse to work harder. No, you're going to keep trying baby step wise, but you're not going to do like the whole staircase in one step, right?
Yeah.
So let's do a quick little card reading and see what the cards will show us about when she gets this promotion and she takes 4 days a week. How does this line up for her? Hold on. When she gets 4 days a week, how does this work out for her? Cards are popping, honey. Okay, they understood the assignment. It's perfect. It's exactly what I just said. So in the past, this promotion or whatever came out of nowhere. You weren't expecting it when they brought this to your attention that this could be incoming, right?
Yeah.
In the present, it's the work card. This is why I giggled, because they understood the assignment. The Eight of Pentacles is you focused on your coin, focused on work, focused on your position here in the physical world. We're talking about work, so the cards understood the assignment. What you expect is that you're supposed to be ready to be ready. You expect that if they are ready to give you this promotion, that you should be ready to accept it. But maybe you're not quite ready, right? Because you expect the Three of Wands of that, I'm supposed to be ready to be there right now. But what you desire is the Two of Wands. This is what I'm telling you. Your reading is about taking baby steps and not rushing yourself before you're ready. It's funny because Maureen's message is the same thing. Becky, your message, remember I told you they said to stick around? This is why. Because sometimes things have to fall apart so that they can fall together better. And while you expect that maybe you're expected to be somewhere you're not ready to be, the Two of Wands says that, you know what, I might not be where I want to be yet, but I'm making plans. I'm in a good position right now. I'm okay with where I am, and I'm making plans for where I want to be. Unexpected unknown factors, you got the Two of Wands, or Two of Pentacles, which is balance. It's coins, keeping your coins in the air and everything being balanced. Your concern was, should I take 5 days a week to give us extra money? Nah, the 4 days is going to give you enough money to have everything balanced. Not just your finances, but your emotional state of being as well. Near future is seeing the big picture. Near future, the Queen of Swords sees the big picture. It can be a conversation that's needed to have. That's exactly it. It's when you communicate this to your bosses, when they offer you this position and you say, you know what, I'm still working up to 5 days a week. If we could start with 4, you know what I mean? I'll get there. I know I will. Have the conversation. Don't be afraid to speak your truth on this. And in the distant future, you have careful control of volatile factors. It is the unknown and the unseen being flown into the known and the seen. Everything happens at exactly the right moment, at exactly the right time. So even if they come to you, and it looks like by what your cards are saying is that when they bring this promotion, they might encourage you to try to do the 5 days. You're going to clarify that you need to start with the 4, and it's going to bring in and temper that situation so that everything moves forward easily. Look at the card on the bottom of the deck.
But see, the thing is technically I am 4 now. I mean, I've only done like a couple weeks though here and there between hurting my ankle and then I took a couple different days off for like the birthday parties and stuff. So I haven't technically done many 4 days. So basically,
baby steps, girl. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Baby steps.
so yeah.
So you're going to be here in the 4 days a week for a little while. And this is exactly what they're saying, that that you're supposed to only be in the 4 days a week right now because you're not ready to do 5. And so
Yeah,
if
I'm not.
when that they ask you to do 5, you're going to clarify that you're not ready for that. You're just getting used to 4. You're just validated exactly what I'm saying. Whether that's all just beginning to happen or it's coming up happening, that's exactly where you're supposed to be. Because the energy that you're in right now is this Ace of Swords energy, which the Ace of Swords cuts through all obstacles in your path. But you have to take it baby step by baby step. You can't skip any steps. So remember the tortoise and the hare when you see when you think about this situation. It's not about how fast you get there. It's about taking the solid steps towards getting there.
Yeah, that helped out a lot because I mean, and I guess I should have not even second like doubted myself because I already knew the answer.
Sometimes it helps to just hear it said out loud and to remember that you are, and get that validation that you are making the right choices. Sweetie, you are a superstar. You've been through a massive, extremely massive tragedy in the last, year that a lot of us, knock on wood, never ever want to experience. And yet you're still growing and thriving and achieving, and you are doing so. I know that it feels like you're moving very slowly, but it is the fastest slow motion you could ever imagine. What's going to happen is give it a year or so from now, and you're going to look back and it's going to seem like it was just boom, gone. But how much you have accomplished in that year is going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to pull the energy back from that for right now, but I'm super, super proud of you, kiddo.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so this is where I'm going to stop the recording for right now before I do my last reading. And I wish everybody else out there a very wonderful evening, and I will see you guys again on Friday morning, 10 a.m. Take care.